All right, let's talk about sales, but maybe not in the way you're used to. Today, we're going to tear down one of the oldest ideas about what it means to be a salesperson and build something new in its place, an approach that's all about listening, not talking, and building trust, not just making a quick buck. Yeah, you've heard this one before, right? We all have that picture in our head of the fast-talking, super smooth salesperson who can sell anything to anyone. It's a classic image, for sure. But honestly, it's probably one of the biggest myths in business today, and we are here to bust it. So if that's the myth, what's the reality? What does it really take to be great at sales in the modern world? Well, in this first part, we're going to pull back the curtain, and I'm guessing what we find is not what you think. And here it is, the big secret. The best salespeople on the planet aren't the best talkers, they're the best listeners. It's really that simple. It's about having the ability to shut up and actually understand what a customer's problem is. See, real success doesn't start with a sales pitch, it starts with a genuine question. In fact, let's redefine the word sales altogether. Forget about pressure. Forget about twisting someone's arm. At its heart, sales is just this: solving a problem through an exchange of value. You have a solution, they have a need. When you bring those together, value is exchanged. It's a partnership, not a fight. And to really make this idea stick, let's look at two totally different ways to approach this. We're going to use a really powerful analogy that makes it all crystal clear: the hunter versus the farmer. Okay, so on one side, you've got the hunter. Aggressive, always on the prowl for the next deal, the next kill. It's all about that short-term win, right? Closing the deal no matter what. But then you've got the farmer, and the farmer plays a completely different game. They're focused on cultivating relationships, nurturing them, and growing real, long-term value over time. And for the rest of this explainer, we are going all in on the farmer's way. Why? Because this is how you build something that lasts. The hunter might eat for a day, but the farmer builds a business that can thrive for years. So what's the formula for this whole farmer thing? It's actually incredibly simple, and that's what makes it so powerful. It's just sales equals trust plus benefit. That's it. That's the whole equation. Notice what's missing there. There's no persuasion, no clever tactics. It just boils down to two things. Does this person trust me? And are they going to get a real benefit from this? Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little warm and fuzzy, right? A bit idealistic? Well, what if I told you one of the biggest, most successful software companies in the entire world was built on this exact farmer philosophy? Let's look at the proof. Salesforce and their customer success revolution. Their model was brilliant. I mean, step one, pretty standard: sell the software. But this is where they flipped the entire script. Most companies stopped there. Salesforce, on the other hand, moved to step two. They became absolutely obsessed with making sure their customers were getting real, measurable value out of the product. And that obsession naturally led to step three: building a genuine, long-term partnership. So what happens when you do that? When you stop focusing on just closing the deal and start focusing on your customer's success. What kind of harvest do you get when you adopt this farmer approach? You get this: a customer retention rate of over 90%. Let that sink in. In the cutthroat, hyper-competitive world of enterprise software, that number is almost unheard of. Customers just didn't leave. And why would they? Salesforce wasn't just a vendor anymore. They were a partner, deeply invested in their success. That is the incredible power of trust. The Salesforce story really brings us to the final, most important point of all of this. It's the big idea that ties this entire philosophy together. And it's this right here. You need to sell the result, not the product itself. Think about it. Nobody buys a drill because they want a drill. They buy a drill because they want a hole in their wall. You don't sell gym memberships, you sell health and confidence. You have to sell the outcome, the transformation, the result. That's what people actually buy. So the last thing I want to leave you with is this question. Just take a second and think about your own work. When you talk about what you do, are you just selling the product, listing off its features, or are you selling the result, the amazing outcome you create for people? Because making that little shift, well, that's the entire journey from being a hunter to becoming a farmer.